What's going on, my divine babies? So before I get into this message, okay, Spirit saying you're really getting to the point where you're doing a lot of mental battle, especially when it comes to your purpose and different avenues you want to move in life, and you're having a lot of confliction, but this is due to the enemy playing on you. That's what I heard. The enemy playing on you. An ongoing battle. Okay. Spirit says there's nothing that's going to be a quick process, especially when it comes to your abundance financially. It's not going to be a quick process. Spirit says it's not going to be a quick process when it comes to romantic proposals. It's not going to be a quick process when it comes to wishes coming true. And it's not going to be a quick process when it comes to you staying on your divine path. Spirit says the enemy is painting an illusion that if it ain't 100% right, I'm not messing with it. Okay? Spirit says it's the giving up, energy. The giving up. Spirit says, how did you feel when you felt like people gave up on you financially or gave up on you emotionally when you didn't have nobody? This is a generational curse that needs to be broken, given up, just discarding. People are taking that into self-love, but it should be to a certain extent. I always believe in boundaries and communication, but everything is not perfect. Everything is not perfect within friendships. Everything is not perfect in relationships. Everything is not perfect in, with family members. But Spirit says the enemy is... Spirit says you need to release this false illusion, this burden, okay? Again, if it ain't 100% right, I'm not dealing with it. There's nothing that's 100% right. Spirit wants you to understand that. The Most High wants you to understand that. They unconditionally loved you. How many times did they give you chances? How many times have you fucked up? How many times have you backtracked, fallen off the path, and came back on? When you get to a point of healing and to a point of understanding and a point where you love yourself so much that you're not triggered by others' actions, because you are now operating in God love, godly love, unconditional, sacrificial love. Now, there's a difference between boundaries. Again, Spirit says, you should always stand on boundaries. And sometimes you got to let loved ones fall on their face to learn a lesson or a relationship or things of that nature. But Spirit says, don't place judgment yet. Okay? And Spirit saying, just don't give up yet. I needed you to distance yourself so that they could work on a friendship. I'm hearing a family member and a relationship. But Spirit says in due time, there's going to be celebration and reunion. I don't need you to be stuck in ego to the point where you miss out on something that's abundant. Spirit's trying to get you to understand if they gave up on you and they distanced and never came back to you, you would be lost. But the Most High doesn't give up on his children. And this is the truth. The Most High does not give up on his children. So therefore, if you are a divine being, you are made in the Most High's image, you should operate in that same love. That's the lesson here. To obtain great fortune. This is a cycle that you need to complete. When it comes to your thinking, when it comes to ego, again, the enemy constantly wants to separate divine unions, divine friendships, soul tribes off of illusions. Spirit says you have to communicate. The lesson's not being you're not seeing the lesson. All right. This is devil energy that wants you to create chaos, to keep the chaos up, to keep the messiness, to have grudges and hate and all of that. Most High says you need to learn this lesson right here. And you need to learn it fast. Okay? Spirit says you need to confess your feelings. You need to move and operate in true energy. Spirit says you need to confess everything that you also deal with guilt-wise. Okay? Anything, you need to give it to the Most High. All energy you need to give to the Most High. Be careful of anything that The era that we're in is to discard. Discard. You don't act right, discard. You don't think right, discard. And sometimes it's the enemy playing an illusion of something that it really isn't. And I've learned that through divine healing. It's communication that's going to help this. Now, again, I'm not talking about very toxic energies and, you know, stuff that keeps happening back to back to back to back. But Spirit's saying you have a choice to make. And you need to release being stubborn, overwhelmed, having a lot of fear and anxiety when it comes to this. Quit overthinking it. An idle mind is the devil's playing field, a negative energy's playing field. So the more that you just think about the negative energy and you're not really applying productiveness to your life, is the more that you're allowing these negative energies to play on you and cause chaos, disruption in relationships instead of you coming. Spirit sent you in these people's lives because they know your energy is strong. Now, again, sometimes we have to distance themselves, you know, tough love is what you say. But Spirit's saying they don't want you to give up. They put you in that position because you are the Queen of Cups. You have that unconditional love, then sincereness. Okay, you have a mother's love. And Spirit says you need to stand up for a lot of people that are not able to fight the mental battle that you've done. And that's why you've been placed in certain people's lives, because you have the mental capacity to help these people fight these negative energies and these, you know, demonic energies. And Spirit says you can't give up on that just because they're not moving the way that you wanted to move. You know, you can't give up and discard and listen to all or everybody else. Spirit says you need to come to the divine. Anytime you have problems, you need to come to the divine. Otherwise, it's going to be a tower moment every single time. It's going to be a tower moment every single time. Spirit says right now, you have a lot of good business sense. During this time of seclusion, you need to apply pressure when it comes to purpose. You have very good business sense. Okay? And Spirit says you need to act on it now. Don't allow illusions to place fear around you to where they in your head that it's not going to happen. Spirit says balance yourself. When you balance yourself, you're going to get this Sun card. It's going to pay off. But Spirit says this is not going to happen quick. So don't think it's going to happen quick. The more work that you put in anything in life, you work on your relationship. You work on your friendship. You work on your family. You work with your children. You work with your purpose. You work with your career. You work with these. You're always going to get the Sun card because it's the consistency and the discipline. The law of attraction. Law number 3. What you put out is what you bring in. And Spirit wants you to get this. If you have unconditional love, it's going to come back and you're going to receive unconditional love. Okay? There's new beginnings that are happening for you, okay? The Spirit says keep that balance. Don't fight it. Okay? Even when things get real tough, they put you in that battle for a reason. It's the enemy that's creating blockages, telling you to discard. Don't give up. Alrighty. And that's the message. Peace and love, my divine babies.